This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You are always scum. Rebel scum.
James.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
That's me.
Exciting news. I sent you the trailer today. Star Wars Visions trailer already out. I don't know. Is that considered a trailer or like a sizzle reel?
It was, I believe, a reel. There was a panel for it on the weekend.
Yep.
On the third, second.
Anime Fest or something. I had never heard of this, but I'm not an anime person per se. So.
Oh, it was. I don't know. I'm not an anime person either. Yeah. Although, I guess growing up, for me, I grew up with Thundercats. I think that's technically anime. So I didn't realize it growing up. But so anyway, I'm a diehard anime supporter fan.
Yeah. So were you surprised? Rebel Scum Podcast, episode 223.
I was surprised that this is the Rebel Scum Podcast. We're 1 month away from the big show. 1 month away from the big show.
224. 227?
227.
Oh, 1 month away. I thought you meant 1 week ago. Were you surprised that we got this trailer? Like, it was like the one show that they announced in December 2020 that like was not on our radar like at all.
Well, I think for me it wasn't on my radar because of the anime thing. That, like I said, I'm not too excited about it, so it doesn't. It never made my list. However, I was surprised because it came out of nowhere. It seemingly to me, anyway, it seemed like it came out of nowhere. And then, but then in it they say it's going to be on Disney Plus in September. So really, when I heard that, I'm like, well, this makes sense why we have it now. But yeah, it did kind of surprise me seeing how we heard. And this is how I like my Star Wars now. I haven't heard anything about it, and they're like, boom, here you go, it's ready to go. I'm like, yes, thank you. Patty Jenkins, Taika Waititi, Rian Johnson trilogy. Listen to
that. September 22nd it comes out. That's I don't think I had to look it up. I was like, oh, that's soon. I was just like, what? What is this? It was cool. I'll watch it because I'll watch anything. But some of the images, I rewatched it, the trailer. Got home from work and just sort of paused it because you know how they just showed images and flashed it, and just like really took in, like, there's like one that's like a group shot of different Star Wars characters or beings from Star Wars. So it's like, and they kind of look like samurai or whatever. It's kind of cool. There's like, I don't know if you looked closely at one is like there's a group and then there's a probe droid. And then on top of it is a Doug, like Sebulba on top. He's like riding it. That's like awesome. It's like he's like taking over it and it's horse or something like that. So I'm like, that's kind of cool.
So it seems to be like this is what we've been talking about for a couple of years now. It's like just have fun with Star Wars, and I think because it's anime, they have that freedom. Like, I'm not into anime, but my favorite not my favorite Star Wars, but one of the Star Wars I absolutely love is the Clone Wars, not the CG Clone Wars, the 2D, the Tarkovsky Clone Wars, and that's kind of like a low key anime, cool. Right? Like, it's but it wasn't canon, but it kind of was, and it got to have fun with certain things and have a good time with it, and I hope we get to see more of that in more mediums as well. But that's one thing that, whether I like anime or not, one thing that excited me the most about this was just seeing how they were having fun with the property, and that really excites me.
Yeah. I know what I was gonna say. Oh, and the other cool thing I think is neat about this is like they're not really showing existing characters. There's like one shot of like a Mandalorian that looks like Boba Fett, but there wasn't like perhaps we'll see some characters, but like it's really like I think that's one of the things they said is like this is just gonna take place in Star Wars. It doesn't necessarily gonna be like here's a New Hope in anime, which is like I forget what it was called, but they did that where they just sort of did like
the Galaxy of Adventures,
something like that. Yeah, which
those
is cool.
fun,
I like that.
but they were like 2 minutes too. It was,
they were done like the opening of like 90s cartoons.
Yes,
like a quick action going from one thing to the next and like giving you a quick summary of whatever.
I appreciated that for what they were. They were fun little throwaways. They're probably on Disney Plus. I haven't. I've been on Disney Plus. I have been watching Disney Plus. I'm getting my money's worth this month. I watched something. The heck? And Alien 3 and Alien
Nice.
So Aaron wanted to watch Aliens, which I own, so I put it on, and then she's like, well, now I want to watch the next one, and then I was like, Disney, and I put on Disney Plus, and there it is. Now we're on Alien Resurrection. We haven't watched the first one. I don't know. Let's talk about Alien for a second. The first one is probably my favorite Alien movie. The fun tidbit of information about Alien is the reason why it got made was because Ridley Scott went to the movie theater and he watched Star Wars in the theater, and he was supposed to do like, I don't know, like a drama or romance or something was his next movie, and he left the theater and he said, no, I want to make that, and he got the script for Alien, and that's how Alien came to be with Ridley Scott, because he watched Star Wars. True story. I heard that from the horse's mouth himself. He said that somewhere. It might have been in that magazine you gave me last year. Anyway, that is a true story that Alien came out because of Star Wars. And obviously James Cameron and Aliens, him and George Lucas have a respect for each other. James Cameron did that interview with him on that sci-fi show where Lucas talked about what his sequels would be and how everybody would hate them. So anyway, gotta bring it full circle back to Star Wars somehow.
Yeah, I mean, like this series is interesting. I wonder Visions, like why that name. It's kind of cool. I guess it's like they're really pushing the idea that all the people on these who write the stories and animators and what have you are all Star Wars fans. So that like there's a point in this like feature that's like we're all fans and this is the most exciting thing this is something we've all been waiting for, which is like interesting after we had that story that you mentioned last week where it's like who is it?
Oh, the Acolyte.
Who was the
no one was ever announced. She didn't throw the writer under the bus, because that would have been
but it's just saying like, oh, we have a writer that's never watched Star Wars or just recently watched Star Wars for the first time. It's like whatever. I don't really care one way or the other.
I still have the opinion of Leslie Headland's a huge Star Wars fan. She's a showrunner. She's like, there's the outline of the show, and she hired someone who's never seen Star Wars to write hopefully a strong story. Again, you have the people in place to fill in the blanks and make more stars. And that person ended up watching all the Star Wars anyway. I wonder if they I want to know if they liked them or not. That's what I want to know. Could you imagine? I've never seen Star Wars. Well, that was atrocious. Just absolutely the worst thing I've ever seen. Could you just imagine that? That'd be amazing. Have you seen that new interview with Leslie Headland? That's I don't know what it's from, but I don't think it's the same one as that, but she talks about Din shared it online. She talks about her love for the original trilogy, but also it was just a little blurb about the prequels and where her like head was at when the prequels came out. Have you seen that?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It's pretty cool because I think she's like my age. I think we're the same age or around there, because she was in high school. I was in high school. I think she said she was 17 or 18, and that's where I was. I think when Phantom Menace came out, somewhere in that age. So anyway, so the experience is the same as what I'm saying, only and she had an appreciation for it it definitely wasn't the original trilogy, but she seemed to have enjoyed them and kind of understood more of what George Lucas was going for than what a lot of people I think the thing with the prequels is when people watch it, they take one thing away from them, but George Lucas was giving them a different thing, and so the give take isn't necessarily there with the prequels. I think now, obviously, as time goes on, it is, but I think at the time, I think people were expecting A, and he was giving you B, and he wasn't standing down from giving. He went to C and D after that. He was like, I'm gonna stay so far away from that. But and ultimately, what George Lucas did with Jar Jar Binks and the green screen technology is the reason we have Mandalorian, and the reason why the Guardians and the Marvel movie, like, that is, without the prequels, we would get those, but they might not be where they are today, and it might be years away from having that technology.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like going back to this Visions show, it's like I want to ask the questions like what stood out for you visually, but like it was so quick. There's just like a lot. Like
there's a I think there's an anime comic with Chirrut and Baz.
Oh yeah,
I think I saw it on Amazon, and yeah, I'm kind of getting excited for it. As I get older, I'm old now, Brock. I kind of appreciate that style more. It's weird, like that style. I'm like, ooh, I like not. It's still that I like more, but I noticed it. And I was like, ooh, that's fascinating. And then I think my phone died, so I couldn't even click on it to see what it was. but I'm pretty sure that was there. It looked really good. They look cool. So I'm really excited just to see where they take the aspects of the universe and how they use what we know from Star. Because my thing with Star Wars is always like, oh, and everyone's like, they're shrinking the universe, and I'm like, whatever. But my thing is, like, when you stop shrinking the universe, at the end of the day, what is Star Wars? And maybe a show like Visions is going to be something that will help answer that question. Like, what is Star Wars? Star Wars is, here you go. And this might not be it to a T, but here you go. This is Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what it is. Like, it's I hope it's not too much of like, how, like, they take Spider-Man and like there was like Indian Spider-Man and Italian Spider-Man and Japanese Spider-Man. It's like I'm all for that. Those are all interesting things. So it's just like, I don't want it to just be a show. It's like, well, what if George Lucas was into anime? You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be more like, this is our style and this is how we reflect our identity. But at the same note, it's like, this does exist in the thing. And I'm looking at it as like, it's some crazy stuff. But sometimes they do that. Maybe not in a long time. Maybe maybe the last time they did it was when they're like, here's Italian Spider-Man. He has a car. So maybe I'm just worrying about nothing. It's cool. I think I said to you through text, like, I like how that one 3PO character looks like Astro Boy, and like in the trailer, that's Astro Boy. I'm like, sick.
I love Astro Boy. I've never seen the Astro Boy movie that came out a few years ago.
Me neither.
Anyway, I used to watch it as a kid. My dad hated it. My dad hated Astro Boy. Hated it.
Your dad hates a lot of things.
Yeah, but Cartoonsio is like always all in on cartoons. He loved, but Astro Boy is like, don't worry. He's like, ugh. He did not care for Astro Boy. He loved Thundercats.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more. I'm trying to think of
I hope we don't see another trailer for this or anything. I hope we will, guaranteed.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
I kind of like where we're at. I think it's sold. And the thing is, with what it is, Star Wars fans are going to watch it. Anime fans might watch it. And if you don't like either one of those, you're not going to watch it. There's, it's a built-in audience. And so, and it's on Disney Plus. If something's on Disney Plus, people are going to inevitably watch it. Except for me, Absolutely. I only watch Alien and Predator on Disney Plus, apparently. I think No, I watch a lot. I do watch a lot of Donald Duck stuff, and I watched two or three more episodes of the Bad Batch. I'm still not up. I'm still not on the Cad Bane episode yet, but
yeah,
I don't remember what happened and what. Rex. I saw the Rex one.
Right. Yeah, that's the one just before it.
No, because I think I watched one. I can't remember. I went for a walk. I came back. I'm like, you know what? I think it started to rain. I'm like, I'm gonna watch Bad Batch, and then it stopped raining, and I was like, well, I'm going outside, and I did. Also, I watched soccer outside in a freaking monsoon. That was you've never seen someone run so fast with a 40-pound TV in their hands. Actually, that's a bit of a lie because my bedroom has like a sliding door and the TV was right there. So I ran inside, got it, and just kind of like slid it inside. But it was a sunny day, and then all of a sudden, a drop hit, and the side of my house was flooding. Like it was insane for about an hour. And I just had to grab the TV and run in. And then, anyway. So I might watch Bad Batch outside, but I don't really pay attention outside. I watch the Jays games outside. Mm-hmm. Because it's summertime. You don't want to be inside watching Jays games. It's just in the middle of the day, It's like outside. Let's do it. Let's have a good time. But are you all caught up on Bad Batch?
Yeah, I watched the new episode and it was good. Now that I know that like there's 16 episodes, like the pace they're going at kind of makes sense. Like it's still good. I don't know, it's just
from my outside perspective, what I'm seeing a lot of online is people being like, they're getting tired. It feels like people are getting tired of Bad Batch. Some people have said that giving them a spin-off was a mistake, maybe ultimately. And a lot of people are like, no, it's too long. I don't have an opinion of it because I'm not that far into it yet, so I can't. But how do you feel? Are you still like, you're glad you have this, it's better than nothing, or do you feel like maybe it could have been less, or?
Yeah, sure. I'm glad it's here. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like when like the episode was on Friday. I think I watched it Saturday. And it's Monday as we're recording. So it's like, that was 2 days ago. I was like, what was the episode about? And I find the last few weeks, it's like, what was it about? What was it about? And it's like, I can visualize it, but there are parts of it missing. Like I know Omega stayed behind because Hunter thought it'd be dangerous to have her there. And then so she has a subplot. And then the Bad Batch have to go somewhere, but I think it's a trap. I don't know. It's all starting to fuse together. So it's like, I don't want to be like, I'm willing to watch all the remaining episodes, but like, we'll see. They set up a couple things at the end of like a bunch of episodes where it's like, it seems like they're talking to the Empire, or what's their face? Fennec Shan's working for the Empire, or whoever her contact to get Omega is in the Empire. Or no, sorry, I don't want to spoil anything until you watch things. She has a contact, and then the sisters from the season 7 of Clone Wars that
I saw that
with Ahsoka seem to be connected with someone, and then I mean, I don't think Jabba's gonna really come back, but like in a sense that like there was a connection with the Rhea Perlman character that's like swindling the Bad Batch. She's in contact with Jabba. It's like there's all these like, we have all these meetings with like shadowy figures, and you don't know what's gonna happen, but then it's never like, it still hasn't grown. It's still like the characters are interesting. I would say the Bad Batch are very, very engaging, and this relationship they have with Omega is really cool. The basis of the show is solid, but then like the big thing in the first 2 episodes was Crosshair. His chip went crazy, now he's evil, but like we haven't really engaged with Crosshair that much since then. He comes back in the 1 episode, right? It's just sort of like, who is the villain? And like, who's trying to stop them? And some of that is being revealed, but it's like, it's very like, I mean, it's a big deal. They kind of revealed Boba Fett's original name in an episode.
Yeah, I heard that.
But like kind of lackluster. You're like, whoa.
What do you
And
think?
it's like it's a piece of information to drop in the show that's really interesting, but like it's not really good for the storyline because that conversation isn't really had with any of the main characters.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll play back. I don't know.
Well, do you think part of the problem with a show like this is they introduce all these elements and characters and whatnot, and you don't really know where it's going, but it can't go really anywhere because we already know the outcomes of everything.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much you can do, I think, with these. Like, the group of clones we have are very, very interesting. Though, here's one thought I do remember having when I watched the last episode. Crusher's voice is different. Tech's voice is different. But then Hunter and Echo's voice, I guess Crosshair's is different. Hunter and Echo, their voices are very, very similar. So when they're wearing the helmets, there's times where like, is that Hunter or Echo talking? I have to really look closely because like Echo's clone armor isn't crazy different, you know, which makes sense because he's like the new addition and he was a normal clone that like got messed around with by with the separatists. So it's like there are times where I'm like they really should have tried to change the voice, but I don't know. It's Echo's voice is the same as it more or less has been throughout, so it's like he should sort of sound like whatever.
No, it could have made it sound a bit more robotic.
Yeah, I don't know. So what do you think now that you've caught up more or less? You have like 2 more episodes to watch.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I'm struggling with is like I know it's not a bad thing, but I don't know where it's going, and it's not. Sometimes it feels like it's not leading me anywhere. It just kind of seems very stagnant on. Here we are. Some episodes feel too Mandalorian-ish. I found too. I was saying, where like it's like, oh, here we go. We're gonna do this. Okay. Like I said, the very first episode, if that was live action, that would be top tier Star Wars. People would be losing their minds over something like that. So I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I'm excited they brought Cad Bane back, even though I haven't seen it and I shouldn't know. But maybe 16 episodes is too much. Maybe it's not. I don't. It's the kind of thing that I think it's going to be a wait and see, right? Like when the season is or series, whatever it is, has come and gone, are we going to say that was worthwhile? And that and you know the jury is still out on that because you know think of all the episodes of Rebels you sat through, and you're like, what was the point of that? And then, oh, there is a point. And so yeah. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on why it's 16 episodes and why the episodes are what they are right now and why Crosshairs hasn't been in it. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on all of that, and I'm gonna see in mid-August, I believe is when it ends. When find out in mid-August what this was all about, and
yeah.
So that's what I am. But I do think though, when you put something in the middle of an era that you know so much about, the mystery is almost like. I don't get it. Like, what are you trying to do? And that's maybe taking away from it a little bit. Whereas I think it should be more like intriguing. It's actually distracting me from the show itself.
Yeah, and it's like the last season of Clone Wars, the one that came back. It was only really 10 or 12 episodes 8. And had 8. Oh yeah,
4 Bad Batch, 4 Ahsoka and Maul.
Okay, so it was like that was really like the last episode was very, very good, but it's just like I think we probably said like this was great, but it was so short. It was like the Bad Batch cool characters, but it's just like it's 4 episodes to these characters that aren't gonna apply to the final storyline, which is fine. Now we know it's like, well, here's your introduction to these characters. We're thinking about making a show, so like it makes sense now. But yeah, like I would argue like people are like that was really good, but it was really short, so it's like you can't really win. I don't know. Now, as I've finally jogged my memory, now I do remember what the last episode was about. So like it could be a jump off point to something because it's like they're now making a move. Because I was thinking it's like there's no interaction with early rebellion, and there's very little interaction with this young empire. You know what I mean? Like it's there's like they're not really dealing with, but this episode there is a little bit, but it's like I think that's what we want to hear because this era is about what happens after Order 66. Like we know what happens. Like the Empire is formed, the Jedi are gone, and da. That hasn't really been told yet. So it's like it'd be interesting to see the fledgling rebellion. Mm-hmm. Like we see it in Rogue One, but it doesn't really count because it's fully formed, I would argue, more or less. Like
by Rogue One?
Because it's by Rogue One, like they're still new-ish, but like I don't know. So like it would be cool to see like a young Mon Mothma, Saw Gerrera, Bail Organa, like something along those lines, or like it's like, oh, that's neat. I mean, I don't know how engaging of a story that is, but at least it's like, oh, cool. So, I mean, if people got excited that you get to see the young Rancor from Jabba's palace, it was like, oh, that's fun. Like that's really what this show is about. It's not about changing the status quo in Star Wars per se, because it's like,
no,
you can't do anything greatly drastic because things have to be bad for a long time in the galaxy. So one thing I will say, and people in the chat or anybody watching and comment, let us know what you think. Do you not? I mean, you have 2 more episodes to watch, but it's just like we are 8 episodes in. They're still wearing their clone armor, and granted, the Bad Batch, like they've specialized their armor and what have you. But it's just like if they're trying to stay like off the grid, why do they look like clone troopers? You know what I mean? They can still wear armor.
It's because it's animation and they gotta stay the same.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm gonna catch up. I think the weather is supposed to be lousy for the next few days, so I probably will catch up on it during that time. We'll see. I mean, I love Star Wars. I was really enjoying it, and the episodes are fine. But like I said, it's just watching TV in the summertime is something that I am horrible at. It's when the '80s happened, Brock, when you were born. If you were outside in the summer, you stayed outside, and then when you wanted to come in and watch TV, you're like, stay outside.
Yeah, but there was like we watching TV was like if you missed the one episode, that was that.
That was it. No, I had a VCR. I recorded everything. I went to church every Sunday, and Sundays when Ninja Turtles was on where I was, and I used to record Ninja Turtles every Sunday. I would record it. I had it, and then I set it up myself, and I would go to church, come back, and be bam, and I'd set up, and I would get so disappointed if I missed the first 3 seconds of the theme song. Sometimes I'd be so disappointed.
I used to record The Simpsons, and like when we were young, like The Simpsons was on like 6 or 7 different times a day on different channels. Now, like Disney Plus, you have every single episode, but it's like I had VHS full of The Simpsons. Like I remember having sleepovers for like my birthday, and it was like everyone's like, "Put in your Simpsons." And it was awesome because I'd always start it in the credits of the show prior to it, because it would do that thing where it's like the show ended, it wouldn't go to commercials, it would just go to the Simpsons. And it was the Aladdin cartoon. So a lot of the episodes, it has the last like 10 seconds of like Arabian Nights the song and like the credits, which is just words on top of like the palace, the Agrabah palace.
I remember that. I remember that cartoon. Yeah. That was a great cartoon.
Oh yeah, Disney has always made pretty decent cartoons in general. Yeah. But I've been rewatching. I've been watching the Goldbergs show. Have you ever watched that show, the Goldbergs?
No, but I know they love Star Wars, and I know it's the 80s. Yeah.
It's a great show, especially like if you grew up in the 80s in any form or whatever. It's like it's really aware of its of what it is, because like the narrator is like Patton Oswalt, and he's like, it's like, before internet or before cell phones, before Google, all we had was this. And I was like, yep, I remember that. Yeah. So yeah, they do a lot of Star Wars stuff. But yeah.
Maybe I'll check that show out. The world is such. It's amazing how we went. You know, I went 20 years of my life without the internet. Basically, it was just under 20 years, but give or take 20, right? And now it's like I don't. Now when my power goes out, I have no internet. I don't know what to do. I'm like, the internet's gone. What do you do? I don't know. I don't know what to do. We're stuck. It's yeah. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Odds?
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Let's do it. Never Tell Me the Odds. Brought to you by Patreon.com. If you like what we do and you want to support us, head on down to patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. I almost did it the other way around. Where you can help us out and, have another group of two dudes just talking about Star Wars.
Star Wars!
And if you become one of our patrons, you can be one of the many few that we shout out every episode and we love dearly, like Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Stanifor, Soonerthron, Scott D, Josh Price, Matt W,
Rez, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, D Raven, Spencer, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney, Desi, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Aaron Quinton, Dana Nerds, and the Good Crusaders.
You know, like the amount of times we read these names, you think we would know them off by heart. It's like you say any of these names to me in like text, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But it's just like the amount of times we read this order of names, we would have never memorized it by now.
You'd think so. That's why we don't act in school plays, Brock.
No. I'm in the wrong email. Oh, there we go. Boom. What are the odds today?
Oh, who knows? They're all from Heidi, except for the last one, because we've already done it. So we're going to have to redo a third odd. I thought it looked familiar. Heidi hasn't watched our show. Oh, because she just watched episode 214. She's 10 weeks behind.
What? Really?
No, I think she just went back and watched it. She had a few never had to tell me the odds after watching the Bad Batch. Will we see Grogu's... Wait a minute. No, I copied and pasted the wrong odds from her, Brock. These are all old. We did all of these after episode 214 on episode 215.
Yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
I was like, sorry. Anyway, she has one odd. I thought she only had one odd. This is the odd. I memorized it, so I'm just going to give it to you. Ready? I think we did this one as well, but we're going to redo it. Never tell me the odds from Heidi. Will Omega be revealed to be Rey's mother?
It's not an impossible scenario, because it's just like, well, because we know obviously she's a clone. We've known that from the get-go, but like that, yeah, I don't know. Like there's an episode. I don't know. I can't remember when it happened. So I think it's the Cad Bane episode. So I won't say anything. I'm gonna go 30% because it's like, but you're like, maybe.
I'm gonna go 29%. I love the idea. I will say I love the idea. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I love it because shrink the universe. Just do it. Make it all connect. That's why you're telling us the story. That's why we're getting the story, because it all connects. He's telling a story that has nothing to do with anything. So that's where I am on that. Never tell me the odds, Brock. This one I'm making off the top of my head. Never tell me the odds. Will Fennec Shand kill Cad Bane?
Ooh.
Look, Cad Bane might have died in that episode for all I know, because I haven't seen it. Maybe she kills him in live action.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great. I don't want it to happen because I do. Which doesn't mean he can't die somewhere else, but I'm gonna go 40%. I think. I don't know. It's like I want to say it's like, well, they like both these characters, so it's like, why do anything with either one, right? But like you got Solo where they have Beckett be like, I killed or I pushed her off of a cliff. What's her name? Not Asajj Ventress, but who's the bounty hunter? With that's in Phantom, all white, ponytail, antenna coming out of her head. Oh God, you know what I'm talking about. It's a scene in Solo where like, you're Beckett. Didn't you take out da da da?
Asajj Ventress?
No, not Asajj Ventress.
Oh, the other one. Aurora Singh.
Or Aurora Singh or Aura Singh? Aura Singh. Aura Singh. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. They just do that off camera, so it's like I think they're capable of doing anything. Yeah, so I'm gonna go low on that. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I'm gonna go low as well. I'm gonna go 29%. I don't think it's gonna happen on this show.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of ballsy if it did.
Yeah. I have an odd for you.
Thank goodness, because I typed in Star Wars on Google and this is what comes up. Star Wars TV boss says her queerness will be reflected in show.
Yeah.
Like that's all right.
I saw that. What are the odds that the Bad Batch doesn't survive the end of this season?
Ha! That was actually.
Have we done that? I don't know. I don't know if we've done that.
I think we've talked about it. I don't know if we've done it. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go 71% they'll survive.
I'm gonna go full Brock because I really don't know.
I know I do. I just think because it's animated, I don't think they'll go that dark. But that being said, the Clone Wars went pretty dark. But I'm gonna go 71% because also, maybe they want a season 2. Bring in the checks. Let's do it.
Yeah. It is interesting. Like when you see in Rebels, like Rex and Wolf and Gregor, like clones like that are off the grid, took their chips out, and they're not on either side at the moment, and then they join the rebellion or what have you. It's like, it almost feels like if those 3 are on their own, it's like you kind of think like perhaps the Bad Batch don't make it, because it's just like, why wouldn't they be in? If they were still alive, then why wouldn't they call them into the rebellion in some way? But who knows? Ezra's
still alive and Thrawn's still alive. So it's Star Wars. They're starting to, there's a lot of loose ends that are left loose. A lot of open endings now. Like Luke was their last hope, and then you're like, oh, but Ahsoka's around. Everyone's around, but Luke is the last hope. Sometimes just, I don't know. I know what you're saying. I agree with that. But also they were kind of created. They just weren't realized yet, because George Lucas reportedly created the Bad Batch. Right. I gotta go 71 though. I think I would love to see it again. I think Wrecker's gonna kick the bucket.
Yeah. They're definitely putting the most character development on, or at least viewer love for that character, because he's just sort of. Yeah.
But everyone in Rebels survived except for Kanan. Like they all survived, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
So where are they? And I know you're saying about clones, but maybe they didn't want to be associated with other clones. And Rex is with 2 other ones. Where are they? Excuse me.
Where are they?
Where are they? I don't know. I gotta get caught up on this show. Everyone gets mad at me when I say I haven't seen it. How are you don't see it? I'm like, Brock tells me what goes on anyway. I don't need to watch it. Literally, I'll wake up at 7:00 on Monday or Friday, and I'll have the entire episode just written in a Twitter thread. So it's fine. I'm at a point in my life, Brock, when I see like an article like I just picked up about Star Wars TV boss, or if I clicked on it and there was a video of it, I would rather read the article than watch the article.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't want to watch it, and I'd rather read what they say. It's product of my
It's
time,
like
I guess.
the problem too is like all these shows, not just Star Wars, but like a lot, pretty much like Marvel and Star Wars on Disney Plus. And then you could probably name a whole bunch of other shows that have nothing to do with this franchise. It's like we're so addicted to these shows where it's like a cliffhanger on a cliffhanger on a cliffhanger, where we're like, we cannot. It's hard to appreciate. Like there's a story, and it doesn't need to be immediately crazy.
Yeah.
Like
that's
Loki was
because,
kind of slow. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, that's because we live in the society of like we need it now. It has to happen now. Like, and that's where the cliffhanger I think comes into that mentality of everything.
Yeah, and I think that's why I enjoy like the Goldberg show, because there is growth, but it is like an old school sitcom where it's like it's a problem. There's a story and a problem, and they wrap it up in 30 minutes, and it's like, oh yeah, this is nice. There's like, it's nice to just be like, here's a story, you keep moving. There's growth throughout the show, but it's very, very slow. But like, because it has that feeling of the old sitcom, or kind of, but like when you pack some stars, so it's like maybe we're being too hard on the show. I don't know.
Everyone's hard on Star Wars. I remember, to your point,
That's
though,
what I mean, Star Wars.
I remember watching Saved by the Bell as a kid, and Zach Morris dated Lisa Turtle for like an episode, and then the next episode started right after, and he just wanted Kelly Kapowski, and my mom like walked through the room for both, and she goes, "This is so stupid. He was with the other girl." She's like, "It doesn't even make sense." I'm like, "It's Saved by the Bell." And it's a character called Screech.
So great. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Screech.
There's a restaurant basically.
Yeah, it is what it is. But no, it's, anyway, yeah, you make a good point. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. But again, like I said, I think give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's see where it ends up. Let's see what happens to it along the way. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, do we have you don't have news, right?
Nice. No, all the news was about Visions. The only other story was, what's her face? Rogue Squadron. What's the director's name?
Oh yeah, Patty Jenkins. We didn't talk about how she can basically
like, we've been working on things. Great, Patty.
She's like, we get to do what we get.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. I'm like, cool. And then there was an article about Leslie Headland talking about sexuality, and it's all great, which is a great message. So I was just like, yep. Cool. And
it's a great message that's gonna piss off YouTubers.
Yeah, so I just sort of stay away from it because I was like, something's gonna be said and I'm gonna get annoyed or whatever. So I was just like, it's great. I know like the Acolyte's gonna have like definitely I don't even know what you would call it, like I don't know. Whatever. Loki is gender fluid and bisexual or whatever, and hooray, like it's there. So I was like, yeah, I guess so.
I've never seen the Loki
like
show.
There's it's like they did that in one episode where it just sort of like he basically says like, oh, there's been men and women, and then that's it. And then the rest of the episode goes, and I'm like, yeah, cool. That's exactly what we're looking for. But I feel like if I keep talking, somebody's just gonna go, oh, I can't believe how insensitive you are. So it's like, so yeah.
Well, is Loki good? Do you like Loki?
Yeah. It lulled for a second, but the last episode was really, really good. And there was a post-credit scene that I was like, whoa. So
really?
Mephisto. Luke Wilson. Not Luke Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson is pretty great in that series.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out. Again, haven't watched it. Summertime, not going to. I'll watch it in the
No
winter.
clue.
In the fall and the winter when it gets cold and I'm shivering, I'll put it on. Maybe I'll be looking for Halloween. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Or maybe I will. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know what's going on.
All right. Top 5.
Top 5. Top 5 are top 5 what if stories we would like to see. Top 5 what if stories we would like to see.
And when you say what if, do you mean like the series What If, or just like wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah, well, not like if Star Wars did a what if series, what would some stories we'd like to see be in there? So basically, this is choose your own adventure Star Wars. Let's just have fun and say stupid things. We're adults. This is adulting. One thing that I absolutely you froze, so I don't know if you were trying to say something there, Brock.
Nope.
Okay. One thing that I hate, but I also really want to see happen, is at the end of Return of the Jedi when Luke puts on Vader's helmet and says, "I'm Vader now." I was always like, that's the dumbest thing ever. I'm glad they didn't do that. But now I'm kind of like, I also kind of want to see that now because now it's in my head and I can't get it out of there. so that's my number 5 on the what if is Luke saying that. So there you go. Luke is also Kylo Ren, by the way.
What? My number 5 would be like, it would be cool to see an alternate. I make this the whole list is about alternate takes, but I always liked the first in the Last Jedi novelization where it opens and it's like, is it that one or is that Rise of Skywalker?
No,
I don't think I read Rise of Skywalker. Where it's like Luke apparently is married because he's never left Tatooine. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but like, yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd be down for that for sure. I thought that was a really good novelization. All right, this is my number 4. This one probably is George Lucas's biggest flaw when making Star Wars, that he didn't go this route to begin with, and that is that Zam Wesell instead of Jango Fett was used for the clones. The clone army is all a bunch of Zam Wessells. They'd be changelings, man. They'd be awesome.
This is not really a what if. I just want to see this Luke and Lando looking for the what is the MacGuffin they're looking for in
the knife thing that just happens to be in. Yeah.
Like, I'd like to see that.
How the hell has Lando been on Pisana for so long and never fell down that hole? That'd be fun. My number 3 is Jar Jar Binks stops Sheevy P from becoming the Emperor. He stops. He doesn't grant him the power. He stops and he shoots him in the head. Pew!
I'd like to see, in the same vein for my number 3, I'd like to see like that world between worlds that we see in Rebels, where it's like you basically can go and like jump from time to time. It would be cool if someone figured that out. We did an episode, or they did a series on like how to control that, and like someone, like the first episode was like, we're gonna go kill Sheev Palpatine before he can do anything. And then they come back and it's just like the galaxy is even worse, where it's like, but I guess that's basically Endgame, where like Captain America and the Avengers have to go in and grab these things, and then Captain America puts them back. Yeah, so I just want to see, like, it'd be cool if like they had to fix the timeline by putting it back the way, and then like, so it's basically just a way to rehash an old story. It's like, look, this character was always in the background of the Millennium Falcon in A New Hope, but you never saw it till now.
I would love that idea. I think someone should play around with that. Maybe it's played around within. I don't think they're touching it, but maybe it's played around within Star Wars Visions.
Maybe, yeah.
My number 2, Ben Quad and Arrows. He wins the pod race. Give it to me now. Ben Quads wins. Anakin remains on Tatooine, and the galaxy is better for it. Dooku is the new Vader because of it. Maul doesn't die because of it. So Dooku, Darth Tyrannus, is he even... I don't know. I don't know what happens. All because of Ben Quad and Arrows. Pull up your pants, Disney. Make it.
My number 2 would be something like the Death Star missed Alderaan.
And it's Jimmy
and
Smith
even though
just gets
Alderaan doesn't have defenses, he has no defenses, but because they're like big on the galactic stage, they're able to call down like a million ships onto the Death Star.
There are more of
or
us.
It blows up another planet somehow. You know, I don't know. Like
there are more of us, Bale. There are more of us.
Basically, I'm just like, it's like, what if this was slightly different in butterfly effects?
That's basically it. That's what you got to do. And my number 1 is the only number 1, the only thing that we ever need in Star Wars, because this is probably factual. Wicket becomes a Jedi. Give it to Warwick Davis. He deserves it. I deserve seeing it. Do it.
I'm gonna go with like some alternate take where Leia's on Tatooine and Luke is on Alderaan, and Leia becomes the Jedi or something like that.
I feel like I've read something like that before, where someone came up with that. I don't know if it was fan fiction or like a real thing, but I've definitely heard that before.
I think there was that Dark Horse series where like they're like an alternate take on like if certain things hadn't happened and like the Empire wasn't like they didn't stop the Death Star and all that, and they're like, I think Luke dies and Leia becomes a Jedi or something like that. But like,
I like it. I'm down with it. Why not? This is the thing. Like, there's so many endless possibilities to give us stories. Make them happen. You can do it. You have the technology. All right, let us know what your top 5 are in the comments below, and give us your odds too if you have any odds. Those would be a lot of fun to read. Also, in the live chats going on. Hopefully, last week we had technical difficulties on the show. Half of it wasn't something happened with YouTube. I'm gonna repost it, but this one will be up also. Brock, we're gonna wrap it up. Are you okay with that?
Let's do it. I'm out of things to say.
Don't get too upset. Well, we could talk about Aliens. So what happens in Aliens is I fell asleep through both. Aaron's like, I put it on, and I was like, "What do you think?" What? Yeah, no, I love it.
Absolutely.
But I know those movies pretty well. Just like Star Wars. Anyway, this was fun, Brock.
It's always fun when you're talking Star Wars, James. Ding.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Thanks everybody for watching, for commenting, for liking and subscribing or unsubscribing and giving a thumbs down, whatever you're doing, whatever. Thank you for being here with us. Thanks for taking the time. I'm James, he's Brock, and he was always Scum.
Rebel Scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.